It's amazing growing up until the last 20 years, you could go into Paonia and you knew almost everybody. Either on the sidewalk, in the stores, driving, everybody would wave. I can go to Paonia and not know a soul. Seeing on the sidewalk, driving, I don't even know the owners of the stores. It's really changed that way.
Wow. It's painful to think that people don't go into their town because they don't feel a sense of connection to the other people there, and they feel the people there are strangers. I wish it wasn't so. I wish that there was a place for many people of the community to come together and have an opportunity to get to know each other. I think it's sad, and I am a person that he probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's different. I remember growing up in high school. I mean, drag Maine back and forth and hang out downtown, and yeah, that was what you did.
We still did that.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's Paonia has become quite a melting pot of cultures and community, and I think part of its charm with the mountains and the fresh water and the great place to live and community orientation and everything, and its openness to a lot of things, brought in a bunch of different cultures. The one thing that we talk about in terms of change, I mean, the growth, I don't think the population of the town has changed a whole lot in 80 years. They often say that change is inevitable, but progress is not. But you know, you also have to change with the times, because Paonia has not been the only place that changed. And I think that that's the hidden jewel and the hidden root of the whole town, is that, yeah, there's been a lot of changes, and there may be different faces, and there may be some of those, but in that there's some core things that stay the same, that continue to make it a great place to be and a great place to live.
I think it's a change with the time. It's not always good, it's not always bad. And it takes everybody to make it click.
Every person matters. And to me, I don't think we're incompatible.
I was drawn to this place because it was distinctive, it was affordable, had a diverse community in its own way. And I think the other thing that we wanted was a community that had some economic struggle, because the economic struggle leads to more interesting solutions to problems. It's nice when communities can't buy their way out of problems. They find other ways of figuring things out, and I think the potential for that here is still here.
A lot of the local people are afraid of the drilling program, the infrastructure. All of our water comes out of Lambert. We got some of the best water in the country. I know they don't want that destroyed.
We've been here for a little over a year. I started hearing enough about hydraulic fracking and concerns about what that can do to this area, that we were so excited about thriving in and raising a family. And is it the lack of education about it? Do we need to help educate people more about what are the dangers of hydraulic fracturing?
I think with the regulatory commission, you know, there are loopholes we have to jump through to make sure our water is safe. I think that's where a lot of people have moved to the valley, because of our water. Water is very important.
Aren't you afraid that oil and gas could pollute the water?
No.
My husband was up in North Dakota for 8 years, and I've been on the oil rigs and around it. What I would hate to see is oil come in like it did Dickinson, North Dakota, and it blew the town up, and everything was so expensive, and people were on waiting lists for their kids to get in schools. And then once the price of oil dropped, the town went to a ghost town. I would hate to see that happen to Paonia.
But it's a natural resource, and I think we need to understand we should be able to capture our natural resources. Just like we do grass, they do coal, and they want to do gas and oil. And I think, you know, we've got some very, very intelligent people in this country that the technology will make gas and oil and coal and ranching work together if we can do like Calvin said, if you can understand get through the conflicts. You know, I mean, everybody can't just be in agriculture, there's no doubt, and everybody doesn't have to be in gas and oil, but we need to work together.
I guess there are a limited number of last best places left, and this is one of them. If the valley stopped feeling welcoming to me, if it stopped feeling like home, then I'd find another place to go. And I think what would cause it to not feel like home is industrial development. I think if it became more of an industrial place, I think I'd have to go.
It depends on how nearsighted or farsighted you want to look at it. When an oil or gas pad is built and they first start exploring an area, it can look pretty rough, but it's pretty short term. You know, when those are reseeded and recovered, in a lot of ways it can help a landscape.
Our community has a diverse range of people, political views, socioeconomic status, interests in general, newcomers, old-timers, but that's also how the world is. So I think it's just a lot more apparent here. We're like a microcosm for what's going on in the world.
To make this valley work, we're going to have to work together, and that's got to be the main focus. And whether it's logging or oil and gas or whatever, tourism, there's a place for everybody.